불안전해 건변 물리적인 건 직업해주는 stunt.
What does this mean? Why do you think he wrote these lyrics? In my opinion, Hi guys, I'm Jay living in Seoul. Thank you for coming back to this channel. Today I'm gonna explain the song BTS DIS-EASE of the album B. I guess most of you already have searched the interpretation of the lyrics. In this video, I'm gonna tell you things you might have missed. Please watch till the end. So let's see some lyrics.
몸 부서져라 뭐 해야 할 것 같은데.
몸 is body. The basic form of 부서져라 is 부서지다, and it means break, shatter, collapse. More is something. 해야 할 것 같은데 means feel like I should do. There is but. So this sentence means I feel like I should do something as if my body shatters. When all the busy work suddenly stopped, he could not relax and felt uneasy.
마냥 삼시세끼다 먹는 나라 새끼.
마냥 means always, infinitely, to the full, without feeling the lack of something. 삼 is 3, she is time, 세 is another 3, 기 is a unit for counting meals. When you count how many meals you had, you can use this word 기. Koreans use different units every time they count, like 원 for books, 명 for people, 마리 for animals, 벌 for clothes, 채 for houses. The lyrics literally mean I'm a bread who eats 3 times in 3 meal times. The number 3 was used twice to emphasize the meaning of eating every meal. So 삼시세끼 means 3 square meals a day. In the past, eating all 3 meals a day might be a symbol of wealth, abundance, or relaxation in Korea. But now it's also used as a way of blaming people for wasting time idling around without doing anything special. He expresses sarcastically that he feels guilty about not working diligently and taking a rest and eating properly. There is my, 죄 is sin. 자신 is self, 물어뜯는 is a compound word of 물다 and 뜯다. 물다 is bite and 뜯다 is tear off. 개 is dog. So the whole sentence means my sin, a dog that bites my resting self. He described his inner anxiety as a dog. 외쳐봐 is shout, do is even though, 성과 is achievements, accomplishments, results. 매일 is everyday, 목매 is a short form of 목을 매다, 목 means neck, 매다 is tie, hang, cling. In this case, 목매다 means someone is totally clinging to or preoccupied with something or someone. Let's move on to the next sentence. 계속 is continuously or keep. 으르렁대 is growling. 계속 으르렁대 썩은 동아줄을 tap means kept scrolling, tap the rotten rope. Then who grows now? After a sudden break, he said there was a dog inside him that bit him. And on the other side of his mind, he shuts out not to do so. One side tells him to work more, and the other side says he doesn't have to push himself too much. When he fails to stop himself from clinging to achievement, the inner dog continues to growl and eventually taps the rotten rope. The rotten rope here is a phrase from Korean traditional story, The Sun and the Moon. And Yoongi and Seokjin once read the story. A boy and his younger sister were chased by a tiger. They were cornered and grabbed the rope from heaven and went up. However, the chasing tiger cut the rotten rope and eventually fell to the ground and died bleeding. He is comparing his worries or anxiety to an animal trying to tap the rotten rope. This implies rushing and pushing himself could eventually lead him to crash and ruin himself. 불안전 is unsafe, 병 is disease, 물리적인 means physical, 건 is thing, 직업 is job, career, occupation. 주는 means give, so it means it's not safe. This is a disease. The physical thing is a stunt that my job gives me. What does that mean? The subject and verb are omitted, so it's hard for us to guess what the sentence means. What the physical, stunt, and unsafe refer to? How do we understand this? You can figure it out by checking the context. In order to interpret certain lyrics, it's necessary to consider why and what the lyricist was trying to say. Based on these lyrics alone, it feels like this sentence is not connected to the previous lyrics at all. In the previous lyrics, he felt uneasy because of the sudden rest, and something was growling in his mind, and he even came close to reach the rotten rock. This was a big crisis. Actually, 불안전해 is not the most commonly used way to convey the same meaning in Korean. In a similar pronunciation, 불안정해 is used more, and in a similar meaning, 안전하지 않아 is used more. So why did he choose chose the word 불안전해? Firstly, I think he chose this expression to rhyme. If you look at his verse, you can see that the S sound was used as a rhyme. Secondly, I think he wanted to say that it's not safe for people to keep the disease inside. Many people seem to interpret 불안전해 as insecure, but I think unsafe or it's not safe is better because he chose the word 안전, safety, instead of 안정, stability. It's my personal opinion, but I think he's not expressing his uncertainty in the lyrics, but he's reminding people that it's not safe. Then what's not safe? It's the disease. What kind of disease is this? It's a chronic disease that everyone suffers from, occupational disease. And what about the occupational disease? It gives us a physical shock. When you're busy, you might not feel such things. But when you get a certain break, you might feel like you are nervous or anxious. Your heart is pounding or you don't know what to do. When I first saw the lyrics, I wondered why the word job occupation had to be included. However, this was resolved after watching a press conference for the release of their album and a very live on the same day. J-Hope said he wanted to liken the anxiety to an occupational disease that everyone suffers from. So I personally think the lyrics contain the key message he was trying to say. He seems to liken the psychological chronic disease that everyone has to occupational disease and warn that it's dangerous to keep it inside. He opened up his own struggles he had gone through. Listeners might relate to this and get encouraged to looking back there inside. 아프다 is sick or ill, so is because, 그래 is it is, 생각 is thoughts, 많 is many, a lot, 탓 is kind of because too. There are two ways to describe the cause in this sentence. One is 서 and the other is 탓. 서 is a general and neutral word. It just tells us what the cause is and doesn't express it's good or bad. I explained the word 덕분에 in the Life Goes On video. It means thanks to, so implies the cause on the good side. On the other hand, 탓 was used here. This has a nuance of blaming and resenting the cause. It implies the cause is wrong or a fault. This sentence is like, maybe it's because I'm sick. I blame my too many thoughts. I hate that. 단순하지 못한 치기어린 나. Now quiz. What's the word childish in this sentence? Is it 치기 or 어린? If you are a beginner in Korean who knows the word 어린이, you may choose 어린, but the answer here is 치기. 치 means young in Chinese characters, 기 means energy or vibe. Here 어린 is like something is tinged, reflected, or ingrained faintly, vaguely. So he's describing himself as simple and a little childish. This sentence is also a nuance in which he's not satisfied with himself and seems disappointed. 어려 of 어리다 here is young. This sentence is I'm too young, only body's grown up, limping in the walk of life. In these lyrics too, he's not satisfied with himself. He says he's limping in the face of life obstacles. And in front of the problems, he says he's still only young. I'm ill, 그래 내가 ill, 그 자체 심이란 친구, oh I never liked him. I'm ill, yeah, I'm work itself. The friend called rest, oh I never liked him. Here comes his wordplay. Ill in English means sick, and 일 in Korean means work. So when he says I'm ill in English, it means he's sick. But when he says 내가 일 그 자체, I'm the work itself, it means he's workaholic, he's really into his work. Here he used the word like I'm or 나는. Both are words for self-instruction. So he speaks as if his name is il or 일. And he also describes the opposite word of work, 쉼, rest, as human. 쉼이란 친구 is the friend called rest. It sounds like his friend's name is Rest, and he completed a unique sentence by saying that he didn't like the rest. The personification of work or rest makes us feel more vividly how much he was preoccupied with his work. 유리 is glass. 병 has two meanings. One is disease, illness. The other is bottle. 때리다 is hit. This 유, 머리 is head. So it means, does this disease like glass hit your head? There is another wordplay here. What can hit your head? Judging from what he said was 유리 같은, glass-like 병. I think it's disease that makes you feel like a glass bottle is breaking. Then what is as fragile as a glass bottle? It might be a human's mind.
안경을 벗어도 어둠은 안 흐릿해져.
Even when I take off my glasses, the darkness doesn't get blurred. What do you think the glasses mean? People might interpret it in different ways, but I interpret this as social life or a job. Why do you wear glasses? Glasses are used for studying, working, or for other social activities, or it can be used for professions. If you are wearing glasses, you may be looking at something, concentrating, or paying attention. When you are lying on a couch or a bed at home and resting with your eyes closed, when you want to bury your face in a pillow or a cushion, you will take off your glasses. So I think the moment you take off your glasses refers to a break time from work. When we are wearing glasses, everything is clear, but when we take off them, things become blurry. Many of the busy calculations and considerations are disappeared from your eyes for a moment. Everything turns blurry. But he says the darkness doesn't fade even if you take off the glasses. I think the pain, difficulties, psychological, emotional, and mental effects, or darkness that we had gained from the job do not disappear even at the moment when we get away from it and take a rest. They say that even if they stop their works for a while, the darkness, occupation, disease do not become blurry, but rather stand out. Now, what would you do if you are in this situation? The answer he suggests is facing. Whatever label is attached to you after this time, I do hope it's all of it is you. You are you. Many people were forced to take a rest. In this darkness, you will encounter the problems inherent in you. He says, then see what it is. Whatever it is, it's you. And I hope it's you. When you rest, you may face the inner darkness that becomes clear. It can be depression or anxiety. Whatever it is, he says, he wants you to accept it as a part of you. I once explained the current plurality in the other explanation videos like Telepathy Explained. Even if you didn't put the, it's totally okay in grammar. It can still mean plural without it. Instead, when you put the on a word, the word you refer to is emphasized. When you say 모두, 다, it sounds like you are talking about a mass of people. But when you say 다들, it sounds like you're indicating each individual member of a group. The same goes for 병들. When you say 병, it sounds like you refer to many diseases as a chunk. But when you say 병들, it feels like you're emphasizing various individual diseases. Therefore, when you say 다들 병들이 많아, everyone has a lot of diseases, it's a nuance that each person has different diseases respectively. So now, guess how many sentences his verse is made up of. To answer this, you need to find the predicates of his verse. We already have 많아 of 다들 병들이 많아. Then what is the predicate of the next sentence? This sentence means what I'm confused. This is a subject. What do you think is the corresponding verb to this? In the following lyrics, you may not be able to find current predicates. I'm not just asking you to find a verb. I mean, what's the predicate that corresponds to what I'm confused? The following lyrics are actually noun clauses without predicates. Let's take a look. 인간 is human or human being. 본디 is originally, naturally, or inherently. In the word 추악함, 추 means ugly, 악 means evil. So this sentence means human beings are inherently ugly and evil. This sentence ends with 것, which makes the sentence a noun clause. This part is a noun clause, so the sentence of the lyrics can't be considered complete. Mental illness is interpreted as a 정신질환 or 정신병. If I need to interpret 마음의 병, maybe I also translate this as mental illness too. But 마음 has kind of different imagery from either mind or heart. It's a heart symbol that does not remind you of any physical hurt. Thus, 정신질환 or 정신병 sounds like objective, theoretical, and medical term, but 마음의 병 sounds like subjective, personal, and supportive. You can see two noun clauses that ends with 것, but he doesn't look confused in these lyrics. Rather, it sounds like he's conveying his thoughts clearly. This is the lyrics that naturally match after the previous what I'm confused about. That's because blah blah 인지 was used. I've explained this before. The sentence ending of blah blah 인지 implies vagueness and curiosity. It's natural to add I'm curious, I don't know after this expression. So even if there is an incomplete sentence after which which the predicate is omitted. You can guess that I don't know or I'm curious was omitted after that. He started rapping early in his verse saying what I'm confused about. You can see the corresponding part of this subject is these noun clauses with the word 니은지. At the same time, he placed the verbs in the order of Korean words. After several noun clauses, he said I don't know in English. If you connect this with the previous Korean lyrics, it becomes a complete sentence.
누군가를 바꿔보는 것 그것보다 빠른 것은 내가 변화하는 것
He's not always hopeful about the world. However, he's not always pessimistic about the world. The lyrics seem to be one of their messages that penetrate the entire album. Let's just do what we can do now. It may be possible or necessary to change someone else, but he says if you feel depressed, exhausted, and pessimistic, the quickest way to change things is to change yourself.
다시 아침이야 오늘은 나야 해 가보자고 one more night 영원한 밤은 없어
다시 is again, 아침이야 is it's morning. 오늘 is today. The basic form of 나야 is a similar word of 지내다 and 보내다, and it means spend, live. 오늘을 나야 해 sounds like we should survive. And they tell us in their own way, morning comes again and we have to live today. So let's go one more day. That's it for today. I hope this video was helpful to you. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. See you next time. Bye!